Your dream job as a kid.
I don't know. I wanted to fly an airplane. Big jumbo jet my dad bought me when I was 6 or 7.
The best advice you ever got.
Stop focusing on perfection, trying to get everything 100% perfect, because 80% is good enough, because you need to start to do something. Otherwise, you may never achieve 100%. It'll take forever.
The most important advice you'd give to your children.
Care about what you do, care about others in your life. For me, caring about people and doing good for people in whatever way possible is really important. And so I would say, my boys, take care of each other, take care of your neighbors and family and friends, and just do good.
The best decision you've ever made.
I think getting married to my partner and moving here. My partner's been incredibly supportive. I'm really lucky. Great decision. Really happy, have a wonderful family. I have nothing to complain about at all. I'm truly, truly grateful for everything that I have.
One thing that keeps you up at night.
Right now, because I'm at the hospice, just not having enough funding to our residential funding for our hospice programs in terms of our residential beds is just not sufficient. And so we have to fundraise a lot. So sometimes I stay up worrying a little bit about that, but then I flip it around to say, okay, what's the opportunity in this in terms of partnerships to achieve our goals?
Your biggest gift.
My children.
Your weakness or your kryptonite?
I think I care too much sometimes. I think I have to be careful about that. I'm truly, truly so compassionate and client-centered. So I always have to be mindful of that.
Your wildest aspiration?
To fundamentally change home and community care. That's my wildest aspirations, to make care for people and their families at home client-centered and focused on quality of life.
Your biggest fear?
Fearful for the future for my children, I think sometimes, with the way that the economy is and the opportunities may not be there as much for my children. Sometimes I worry about that. I wouldn't say it's my biggest fear, but I'm not sure what my biggest fear is, but it has to probably do with my children and worrying about them for the future.
What drives you crazy?
Sometimes my partner. He's such a detail. He's so opposite to me. I think that's probably why we work well together. He's very detail oriented. I'm not. I'm more spontaneous. He likes to plan everything out, and it drives me nuts sometimes. But I've learned to go with it, and he's learned to be less planned over the years.
Introvert, ambivert, or extrovert?
So I think in my personal life, I'm much more internally focused. I'm much more of an introvert. I think because of my job and my role, I'm an extrovert. And I take that on just because of my role, but my tendency is to be an introvert.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Europe. I love learning about the history and culture in Europe, and Italy and Spain. And
can you touch the tip of your tongue to your nose?
I don't know. Haven't tried it since I was a kid. Could do that with my son today.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Caring, passionate, and still growing and learning.
One book everyone should read.
Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. It's my favorite book, and it talks about the notion of focusing on what's most important to older adults and focusing on quality of life. And I love that book. I've read it many, many times. It's an inspiration to me. Much of what he says is what I believe in and what I'm guided by. So yes, everybody should read that book, especially if you're in healthcare.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what will it be?
Maybe billboards promoting initiatives by nonprofits for children, so children can see and believe in themselves. So something to that effect, something inspiring, I would say. I think our billboards need to be inspiring, especially now with some of the news being so doom and gloom. We need more inspirational and aspirational kinds of messaging.
If all your meetings were canceled for the day, what would you do?
That would be great. I think I would spend time focusing on the strategic vision I have that I talked about in terms of a whole new approach, taking the hospice approach upstream, and I do more research and start to crystallize my thoughts a little bit. Sometimes I just don't have time, especially in a small organization. Even though you're the executive director, you're still supporting a lot of operations, so you don't have as much time, I would say. So that's what I would do.
Dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, I'd love to have dinner with Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, that's for sure. So smart, charismatic, interesting people that I'd love to learn from.
All right, now I'm going to call out a word and you tell me what that word means to you in one sentence. Leader.
Enabler, and someone who inspires.
Success.
Achieving what you feel is most important.
Dreams.
Never giving up on them. It's always searching for what your dreams are.
Vision.
Believing in making things better and having and knowing what that could look like.
Diversity.
Really important. A diversity is a world where everybody, no matter their background or color, are accepted and treated the same. And unfortunately, that's not exactly how our system and society is right now.
Legacy.
Having made things just a little bit better, no matter what that is, in my life, in my personal life, in my work life.
Change.
A constant, and I love change. Absolutely necessary. If we're not changing as people, as organizations, I always say that if we're not changing as people, then what are we doing? We're dying. We're no longer growing or learning.
Retirement.
Something in the future.
Team.
You can't live without them. You can't achieve anything unless you have a team.
Technology.
Huge disruptive enabler in healthcare.
Money.
Important, but not the be all and end all of everything.
COVID.
A tragic occurrence we have to live through, but a silver lining in terms of all that we can learn in terms of how we can make things better for the future.